and controlled him on the ground. But in my opinion, nobody, that don't mean you've won a fight. Look what happened, right? Look what happened. Yeah, what's up, UK fight fans? Obviously, it's 6:10, y'all. Leon Bilal has just finished, and obviously Bilal's got the title. Bilal won the fight there, but he didn't win the war, in my opinion. It was a very, very close fight. I reckon they had similar ground control times, did similar significant strikes, similar damage. It was a very, very close, very even fight. Bilal, in round 4, got the advantage in the ground control time. He got the takedown and controlled him on the ground. But in my opinion, nobody, that don't mean you've won a fight. Look what happened, right? Look what happened. And in the last 20 seconds, because think about this, you can't hold somebody in a rear naked. You can't hold somebody, get somebody's back like that, and hold the leg lock or whatever you call it, right? You've got your legs wrapped around someone. You've got to use your hamstring muscle and hold that locking position. Now you're doing that for 2 minutes straight, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You can't do that forever. So the leg weakened. Leon spun out, knew that he had 40 seconds left, and he had to make a difference. His corner's probably shouting at him to do something, Go on, Leon! Don't stop feeling sorry for yourself, lad! The famous stop feeling sorry for yourself. And he did, you can see Leon perk up, and that explosiveness comes back, and his confidence comes back. And what a fucking elbow. My God, wow. Bam, bam, with that viciousness, man. Boom. That big nose of Bilal smashed into it was, man. Big gash. That blood was pissing out. Give it another 30 seconds. Leon was rubbing that blood all over his face. That was getting in his eyes. Great, smart tactic. That was, loved it. They do that a lot now, don't they? They smother each other's, when they're on the ground, they put their hands over each other's, so they can't breathe. And similar thing with the blood to the eyes and that. I'm telling you now, that was a very vicious strike, and that was a game changer right there. That blood was pissing out, right? If it went one more round and Leon opened that back up, they try to close it up with the Vaseline or something, don't they? I don't know, but I think they do it with Vaseline, and one little jab on that nose, and it was going to open back up, piss out. Man, it weren't looking good for Bilal, in my opinion. And to me, what wins you a fight, that ground control time, to me, doesn't mean anything at all. In fact, you should lose. I don't know if you should lose a point, but like I said, with like he's using the hamstring muscle to hold him there. If you're basing a fight off of 5 rounds, right, or 3 rounds, or whatever rounds, 12 in boxing, whatever, with a certain amount of time, that's different to that's a battle, but it's not the war. You know what I mean? Like who won the war there? If that fight carried on, who would have won? The Nate Diaz effect, I like to call it. He always ends his fights like that, doesn't he? He loses on by the judges, but we all know who really won. It was one of those for me tonight. What else do I want to say about it? You can't hold somebody there forever. Your legs weaken. Okay, all Leon had to do was move his arms like that, right? Just block. All he had to do was block the shots and move his arms and fight there to fight for the neck. He's trying to block the neck. Bilal's trying to get the neck. But I think Leon's using less energy there, and Bilal's legs are fatiguing. They open, so to me, and they gain points for that. They gain points for just sitting there and holding them like that, hugging them. It's lame. It's got. They need to change that, in my opinion. It obviously is what it is, but go on TV, get back to the light so my camera can see. It's 6 a.m. and the curtains ain't open, and I'm finishing this video before I open them. Alright, it's not done. Let me switch it a minute. There we go. Right. So for me, frustrating ending to that fight, and ground control time don't mean shit to me. If you're not using it effectively, you're just holding someone there. You're losing the fight by holding them there. It depends what position you're in, obviously. In that position, in that specific position, you're losing the fight by doing that. Because you just, like I've said it a minute, your legs wear out. And it's obvious. It's common sense if you've got any. You fucking know, don't you? You know what I mean? And then the damage. They should score damage more. They should score damage more accordingly. How bad was the injury? How much blood did they lose? Like, not, I'm not talking little bits of blood, don't matter. But if you're losing significant amounts of blood, how much damage did they take? That needs to be a factor in the scoring system. I think it needs to be a bigger factor. It's stupid. Tom Aspinall, beautiful. Actually, I think it was a great setup. It was a great jab, beautiful jab. But I don't think, in my opinion, I think that was definitely an early stoppage if I've ever seen one. That was an early stoppage. It was a pathetic stoppage, actually. Really bad stoppage. Yeah. And, there's no else much to say about that fight, is there? I tuned in quite late. I wasn't really interested in the first few fights. I don't think I have anything to say about them. No, I saw Paddy and what's his name? I don't remember his name now. But he's a good fighter too. But yeah, Paddy, what a performance! Great performance from Paddy. It was looking like he wasn't as confident as the other dude on the feet, especially with the hands. Yes, he was doing well with the leg kicks, but to say that somebody's dominating on the feet because of the leg kicks or winning because of the leg kicks, to me, is not a very I don't know. It's not a very exciting thing to say, and it's not a very confident thing to say. You can't confidently say someone's an excellent striker because he was winning with leg kicks. Do you know what I mean? The other guy was winning with the hands, but Paddy was doing very well with those leg kicks nonetheless. So yeah, Paddy, great performance by Paddy in Manchester as well. It would have been cool if it was in Liverpool, man. The crowd would have gone mental. Tom lives got exactly where he lives, but it's Yorkshire. It's near Manchester. I'm from Yorkshire. The crowd gave him a good show, and I thought they'd go a bit more crazy, to be honest. I thought I'd give him a bit more of a pop from that, but that was cool to see. Well done to Tom. Love Tom. He's a great guy. Down to earth. You know what I mean? Deserves it. Deserves all he can get from the UFC. And you don't get much unless you're top 10, you know what I mean? So, Dana, start paying up, mate. You're letting Jake Paul make a fool of you. He's right in what he's saying, fighter pay. You're letting this clown make a fool of you. My God, Jake. I need to say something about Jake whilst I'm on this topic now. It led me here. Jake Paul he's got a lot of power. But he spent a lot of time now, 4 or 5 years doing this now. I think he should be a lot sharper than he is. Should be a lot sharper than he is. He's got, he's got. Oh, Jake, trust me, I ain't stuttering and struggling for words because I ain't got the words. I'm just, you know me, I'm like this. I've got a fucking memory like a fish. I always forget what I'm going to say. But, you've got 24/7 access to a great trainer and camp and all the money in the world to get the best of everything. The nutritionists, fighters have to start from the bottom with no money, no nutritionist, barely afford a fucking locker. You know what I mean? And you've done, respect to you for what you've done. So I'd have a lot of respect for Jake Paul if he wouldn't go around saying, I want to beat Canelo and I'm going to beat Canelo, that's my goal, that's my dream, and I'm going to do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Shut the fuck up, man. The guy's half your size, for fuck's sake. You're fucking stupid or something, mate. You're fucking stupid. Call out your own weight class for the start. I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you? You know what I mean? You couldn't make it up. He calls out guys who are smaller than him, older than him, not even in his same profession. Fucking guys over the hill. He fights MMA fighters and bare knuckle fighters and lures them into boxing matches because he's got money. Yeah, they come for a payday, probably knowing they're going to lose, and they don't give a fuck that they're going to lose. Right? And luring them into your sport. What's that all about? If I was Jake Paul, and I really wanted to prove, and by the way, he's already got hundreds of millions. Why does it fucking matter? Why does he need a few more? Right? What's the fucking point in that? Right? So if I was Jake Paul, and I was saying all these things like I wanted to, and just call out a guy your own size for the fucking start, right? If I was saying all these things, I'm gonna beat Canelo, and I'm gonna win the title, and this and that. I would start at the fucking amateurs and fight boxers who's got the same records as you and go up like everybody else does to prove that you're a good boxer and not a fucking mixed martial arts trying to be a boxer who've trained their whole life a certain style and a certain way for a certain glove and a certain and to defend kicks and be wary of kicks and grapples and takedowns and elbows and all sorts of shit and flying knees and flying kicks and fucking flying headbutts off the top rope like fucking Chris Benoit or some shit. You know what I mean? Like they've trained for everything. Everything goes through their mind, all that shit whilst they're fighting, okay? You only have to think about the hands and those gloves, and it's a whole different game. It's a whole different fucking game. You've said it yourself, Jake. So this video is now half about Jake Paul and half about what's gone on the UFC. But fuck it, whatever. It's interesting, right? It's interesting. He brings eyes to the table, and this is the positive things about Jake Paul. He brings eyes to the table. He's saying he's talking about fighter pay. And he wants fighters to be paid more. And he's making an effort to do that. And he's writing what he says about Dana White. So you got to love that and respect that. And he does have some power. He can fucking throw a punch. He can throw a fucking punch. Tyron Woodley didn't lay on his face on purpose, let me tell you. Yes, he's a lot shorter than Jake, but they probably weighed about the same that night. And Woodley's a big dude, man. Jacked, you know what I mean? But still, in boxing, height is more useful than muscle mass in boxing, I believe. You know what I mean? Yes, there's guys like Mike Tyson that have been shorter and done really well. Rocky Marciano, but how many of them? You know what I mean? They were God-given athletes. In MMA, being shorter, you can get away with that more and fighting up guys taller than you and up you, because you can use your... If you're the same weight as a guy who's taller than you, likely you've had to put more muscle mass on to get that size. So you're probably going to be stronger, but have less cardio in doing so because you've had to put on the muscle and the weight to do that, right? So, but you can use that to your advantage in the grappling, obviously. So it's different. It's a different game. Be that, you know, that's the positive things Jake is doing and brings to the table. TV, what are you doing? Give me some light here. I've literally sat up from watching UFC 304, and my voice is going now because it's 6:30. And I was screaming a little bit for Leon. And that's all I've got to say about that. Like, subscribe, comment.